are you going to bet on game? Okay? Who are you going to bet on? Contestant A. I've got all these dreams. Say it again. I've got all these dreams. Or contestant B. I have 4 specific goals for 2020. Who are you going to bet on? And why? Why? This is an exceedingly organic workshop that we're doing today. And all of these are right answers. Throw them out. Why are you going to go with contestant B? Focus, clarity. Throw them out.
Plan to get something done.
Plan to get something done. Ooh. Anybody else?
Clear language.
Clear language.
4 goals versus a bunch.
Or no goals.
Or dreams. What's the difference between a dream and a goal?
A pen and paper.
What's that? Yes, and there's an even more specific answer. Timeline, right, and there's an even more specific answer. What's the difference between a dream and a goal?
The goal is attainability.
Yes, and
It's written.
one specific difference. A dream is up here and it's in your head. A goal is written down. I'm going to say that again because that is super important. The difference between a dream and a goal is that a goal is written down and a dream is in your head. Everybody have their paper and pen? Which is far superior for all of these exercises that we're going to do today as opposed to a digital device. Pen and paper, okay? When you think of a cook, what comes to mind? Write it down. When you think of a cook, what comes to mind? Oh, write it down. What does a cook do? How does a cook show up? How does a cook think? Why? There's an important question. Why does a cook show up? How does a cook's food taste? When you think of a cook, what comes to mind? Write it down. We're going to have a lot of fun, by the way. Now, when you think of a chef, what comes to mind? Write that down. How does a chef think? What does a chef do? Why does a chef show up? How does a chef's food taste? How does a chef's food look? How does a cook's food look? What's the difference in your mind between a cook and a chef? And now it's time to partner up. I would love for you, wait till I say go, to stand up and find somebody you don't know. Oh my goodness. And introduce yourself. Oh my goodness. And have a short discussion about what you got on paper between a chef and a cook. When I say go, go. Go. Stand up. Introduce yourself to a total stranger. Say, hello, my name is blank. And then go sit somewhere else. Guess who your new friend is? Your accountability partner. So stick with them. If you have to change seats, change seats. If you don't. Okay? And go ahead and take your seats.
Okay.
Because we're about to really get started.
I gotta switch seats now.
Sit. Please sit right next to your accountability partner.
Mine was in a far switch. Right here. You're gonna sit here?
Okay, and while you're resettling, while you're settling in, this is a big deal. This is a big deal right now, what we're going to do. Okay? 1 week from today. And only do this if you feel good with your accountability partner. And it's very easy to do that in a room like this. We're all showing up for great reasons. Synapse, amazing institution. 1 week from now, get on a call. So exchange information with your accountability partner and put it in your calendar now. Get a call scheduled for you all to circle back to everything that's about to transpire for you today and discuss it. Go ahead, exchange phone numbers. It's super simple. Exchange phone numbers and set a date. Also known as a goal.
That's your flag, you should. That's why I was gonna send you. Exactly.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to tell a little story about high school. Does everybody remember high school? I remember most of it. I knew someone. Once upon a time, well, it happened more than once, several times, assignments were due. Remember those? Assignments in high school. They were due. There was a due date. I had to have whatever turned in by, let's just say, 9:30 on a Tuesday morning. And more than once, guess what I did? Didn't hand in a draft. I didn't hand anything in at all. Raise your hand, not to put anyone on the spot. Raise your hand if you've ever done that or you knew someone who did that. Can't incriminate ourselves. That's everybody. And what would happen when you or your friend wouldn't hand in a draft? What happened? Oh, okay, well that's your reason why you didn't hand in a draft. What happened? What'd you get back? A big old goose egg. And what happens if you did that 2 or 3 times in that particular class? Not good things. Parents were really happy with you too, huh? Not so much. So, another thing that I did more than once is I handed in a rough draft. Raise your hand if you ever handed in a rough draft, which is a very different scenario than not handing in anything at all. Let's look at the process. We're going to talk about process a lot today. The process of handing in a rough draft. Anybody can not hand anything. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. You hand in a draft, though, you take something that's in here, an idea, and you put it on paper. Okay? And then you go hand it in. What would happen grade-wise when you handed in a rough draft?
You fail. You'd at least get a D.
Exactly.
You get
Most of the
something.
time you're going to get a, it's not A plus work, it's probably not even A minus work. C minus, D plus, teacher likes you, you might even get a B, happy days, cool. What happened when you handed in a second or a third draft? Let's look at that process. You take something that's up here, put it down on paper, and leave. You come back at some point in time later, and you look at what you wrote, and you're like, okay, I like that, don't like that, I'm going to take this out, I'm going to put this in, you tighten it up, and it's a stronger argument. It's a more compelling, refined, specific, clear thought process. And you hand that in, or let's just say, let's go for broke. You hand it in a third draft. So second draft, then you come back again the next day and you look at it, you're like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good, but I'm gonna make it really good. And then you hand in a third draft. Raise your hand if you ever handed in a third draft. What kind of grade did you get?
Okay.
It all 85% of the time you're in the B to A range. Okay? Here's some scary numbers. What percentage of the population do you think has any written goals about how they kind of, sort of would like their life to look like, hopefully? What percent? 3. I know, she goes, ooh, exactly. 3% of the population. And if you write anything down in any way, shape, or form on a cocktail napkin, you're now in that 3%. What does that mean? That means 97% of the population doesn't even have a draft to hand in. When I think about those numbers, you know what comes to mind? The words, no wonder. So, we're all about to get into that 3%, and then we're going to get into that 2%, and then we're going to get into the very upper echelons of very advanced goal setting. I was a teacher before I got involved in this line of work. I have a master's in international education. I used to teach elementary school sports. Yeah, I did. Great gig. And so I've given over 500 professional presentations about this exact subject. And every podcast I do, presentation I do, consultation I do, coaching package I do, it's all about education. I grew up in the public school system, and not on either side of that conversation, going through the public school system or getting that degree in education, did I have one course, class, or conversation about goal setting, and very few people do, because I've asked tens of thousands. Literally 3 people have raised their hands. You all are about to walk out of here with better information about how to set goals and dial in the process than 99.999999999% of the population ever gets. Congratulations for showing up, because you could have been somewhere else. You could have been at Einstein Brothers Bagels having some cream cheese and reading something worthless. Okay? One goal for 2020 in your personal life. Write it down. One goal. And go kind of, sort of biggish. Okay, put something down that's intriguing to you, that would be valuable for you to realize, to create, to follow through with. Something that would add a lot of value to your life. That would take some investment of your time and your resources. Something you would like to get good at. Okay? If you're drawing a blank, throw a vacation in there. That's an easy layup. Where would you love to go? I moved over to Thailand when I was 26 years old, and I stayed over there for a decade. I know about traveling. It changed my life permanently. I highly recommend it. When someone's like, I have no idea what to do with my life, okay, get your passport.
Amen.
100%. Slam dunk every time. A personal goal for 2020. Did I mention that we're going to have a lot of fun today? And did I mention this is going to be very participatory? Raise your hand if you have something written down on paper that you would like to create. Okay. Sir in the back, right in the middle. What's your name? Everybody say, hello, Anthony.
Hello, Anthony.
What do you have written down? And Anthony and I are going to go back and forth, like a ping pong match, about his goal. Okay? And we could add some things to it. And during this process of Anthony and I working together, if what he does to his goal relates to what you could/should do to your goal, do it. Okay? This is also known as drafting, by the way. Anthony, what did you write down, verbatim?
$5,000 a month with send out price.
Okay, perfect. That's exactly how it's written? Okay,
Exactly.
thank you. Everybody listen. Read that out loud one more time, Anthony.
$5,000 a month with send out price.
Okay, do you want to, so who's going to do that? Perfect. So put you in there. So there's a difference between $5,000, and I'm going to create or earn $5,000. There's a difference in the word structure, the syntax of the sentence. So if you wrote down, go back to school, or lose 20 pounds, put in, I'm going to go back to school, or I'm going to lose 20 pounds. How's it written now, Anthony?
I am going to earn $5,000 a month.
Perfect. Is there any difference for you in the way the picture looks when you write it out that way? There is? Cool. What's the difference?
I can envision myself actually achieving.
Perfect. Listen to the words. I can envision myself actually achieving it. Do this 3 times, everybody. I can envision myself actually achieving it. Everybody follow along. Say it out loud. I can envision myself actually achieving it. Take out the word actually and say it again.
I can envision myself achieving it.
Any difference? Actually implies surprise. So part of you doubts that you can do it, which is exactly why you do goal setting, so you can flush out the parts of you that are like, no, I don't deserve that, or I'm not good enough for that. I want to stay small. This is hilarious, and it's also serious as a heart attack. We got a problem with our language. We're going to touch on that later. We have a problem with our language, and we have a massive opportunity with our language. And that's the one message that I show up with and say from a variety of different angles all day long, that our stories are the most powerful influence in our life. What you say to yourself about yourself is the most consistent, powerful force in your life. There it is in a nutshell. Everything else is details. Cool. So, Anthony, when do you want to earn $5,000 a month by sending out e-cards by? So now, everybody, we're getting into the numbers part of goal. Numbers are scary because they pin us down. And part of us will squirm a little bit. Good. Arguably, you can argue. Arguably, the biggest benefit for a even semi-developed goal-setting practice is that it influences our identity. It influences how we see ourselves. I had a client 3 months ago. He's in his mid-20s, and by his own, not admission, his words, he has very little experience with women. And he met someone at a festival while he was in the UK. And he liked her. And he was nervous because he liked her. And she lived in Belgium. And he was traveling in 6 days back to the United States. And I said, go take her out for dinner. What do you mean? She lives in Belgium. Fly over to Belgium and take her out for dinner. You can do that? Oh, I can do that. Do you know that you can? And he goes, he like looked around, searching for that version of him in his imagination. We're not taught this at school either. That our language majorly influences how we see ourselves in the world. And that there are certain ways, words, stories that we can tell ourselves to keep us up, to keep us small and held back in our mind. Most people's language works against them. Most people talk themselves out of opportunity. I'm here to show you that you can use your language to work for you, and that you can talk yourself into opportunity. And that done even poorly over a decade will turn you into a superstar. Words. Who knew? Guess what he did? He booked a flight. He went over there. And guess what she said? No. And I didn't care. I did not care at all what happened at all, period. Nothing. Who cares? Go get married, have 17 kids, go get shot down, laughed in your face. Don't care. What I totally care about is that you now know that you're that kind of dude. Because that's a totally different kind of dude. And he does. And he said that was, he dropped a couple F-bombs. He was like, that was absolutely amazing. Some of the best life advice I've ever got. Okay? So we add in some numbers. When do you want to do that by, Anthony? Stop. Everybody see his breath right there? He goes like this. Goal setting is, in one sense, stressful. It puts pressure on us. Okay, one thing we're going to talk about also today is how we breathe. One of the very best things that you can do for yourself personally and professionally is breathe better, also known as breathing down more in your abdomen. Okay, you'll come across way more professional when you talk to people. Okay, you'll do so much better when you're hanging out with people that you like on the couch. On a date. You ever been out on a date and somebody's all tense and you're like, really? How does that feel to you? Awful. Do you want to go out on a date with them again? Nope. What about when you go out on a date with somebody and they're relaxed? And they're feeling comfortable. They're not even confident. They're way past confident. They're comfortable in their own skin. And they can actually listen to you and ask good questions. Okay? Because they're not roadblocked in their mind about what you're thinking about them, which is actually what they're thinking about them. Oh yeah, we're talking about breathing too. So, when would you, I know I keep asking the question and going off on a tangent. I do that consciously and on purpose. I do. So, when would you like to do all this by, Anthony?
All right, so you said set a goal for 2020, so in my mind, I need the entire time to make that happen. So December 2020.
December 2020. Okay, cool. What about half of that? What do you see July 15th, 2020, numbers-wise?
I would love to see that.
Okay, could you?
Yes.
Could's a very powerful word. It puts everything on the table. So make that statement. I could earn $2,500 a month, sending out e-cards, by July 15th, 2020. How clear is that, everybody? Okay, and what's going to happen is if he keeps revisiting that, and also some things that we're going to do later, he's going to socialize that idea in him. Okay? And he'll stop going from a stressed state in regards to that goal that he totally can do. There are people that earn $25,000 a month doing stuff. I know some of them in California. Okay? It's all it is you got to get your head around you doing it first, and then create a plan. Okay? And as he gets more and more comfortable with the idea of him doing that, and he can see how that would benefit his life, he'll breathe easier with it, and then it'll be easier for him to take action. Sound like rocket science? It's not rocket science. There is an art to it, though. Okay? Let's give Anthony a round of applause. That's good, dude. That's really good. Most people, 97% of the population, they don't write their goals down. And then out of the few percentage of people that do, even fewer of them say it out loud in front of a group of people. So give yourself credit, because that took guts. Okay? We're going to do this with 3 people, so that's 2 more. Who else wants what they want? I'll take it. I love it when someone just goes like this. My man, what's your name?
Dave Smith.
Dave Smith. Everybody say, hello, Dave Smith. Hello, Dave Smith. Anthony and Dave Smith. Dave Smith, what would you like? What did you write down verbatim?
I will grow my business large enough to give back more.
Okay, perfect. This is fantastic. Okay? And we're going to make it even more fantastic. Okay. Again, the numbers conversation. Are there numbers in your goal? If there is not numbers in your goal, put some numbers in your goal. So listen to Dave Smith one more time. Please say that verbatim again, Dave Smith.
I will grow my business large enough to give back more.
Okay, so he needs to define large enough, he needs to define how much he's going to give back, and he needs to define by when. So that's 3 sets of numbers. See what his face just did? This like this. Oh God, this is getting real. Exactly. Because it's in one sense safer not to do it. Because then you don't have to risk failing. Oh my God, there's that word. Most people are so timid. And I used to be that way too. And to a degree, I've gotten over myself. I go for things. And I make a lot of mistakes. And I learn. And I do a lot of things right. Or better than I used to. The very first presentation I ever gave was to 11 of my friends. who knew what I was going to talk about for 45 minutes, and it felt like I was sweating electricity. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. Now I'm different. I can be better at this. Anybody can. Okay? One of my favorite quotes. I'd rather get to talk about being timid, and part of it is you know, most people, they just get run over by the inner dialogue. Okay? We don't know anything about it. What to do with it? How to think less this way and think more that way. But we learn all kinds of interesting things at school that we use very little of today. And I'm very big on education, by the way. Obviously, that's what this is. One of my favorite quotes is, I would rather get trampled in the stadium than be a spectator in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. Dave Smith, how are you, buddy? I believe it. You're here. You could be at Einstein Brothers, drinking something, talking to someone about nothing important at all. And you could do that for the next 10 years. And then what do you get? Yeah. What did you write down?
I will grow my business to 100,000 gross profit to give back 10,000.
Bye.
Yes. And let's give him credit for putting those two things. No, it's great. It's great. We love it. We're a team effort here. Round of applause, everybody. Just out of supreme curiosity, how did it feel to write those numbers in?
Good the pressure also.
Okay, so let's go here. Good but pressure. So we say good but pressure. Pressure wins out over the good. Take out the but and put in and.
Good is pressure.
Any difference there? It levels them out, right? Cool. You ever had somebody say, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but. Yeah. I really like what you're wearing, but. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I mean, I really respect you. By when? What's your name? And you're going next, by the way. I'm kidding. I said that because she walked in and she said, I'm not doing anything. Or something. No, she said, I'm not getting up here. See, I'll ask nicely several times. So back to her point. By when?
By December.
Okay. Cool.
December 1st.
Sure.
Write it down by December 1st. Okay. Now we're going to flip the whole 97%, 3% on its head. We're going to turn it around. Okay? So what you just wrote down, you should look at that. 3% of the time. And guess what you should do 97? Guess what you should focus on 97% of the time? What you need to do to create that. Anybody ever heard of The Secret?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great conversation starter, but where that fell flat on its face is it totally neglected the process. Please turn that off. It totally neglected the process. Oh boy, it's coming, I'm going to manifest something. Because I'm going to manifest something. And I want it. And I'm going to get it because I want it, and I want it because I'm going to get it. Where is it? I'm laughing at myself, by the way, because I did that. You got to try some stuff out. Okay? What's very important, very, very, very important, is the process that you need to commit to. Another freaky word, in order to create that. And guess what? The most important thing, the two most important things about that process are the two very next things you do, which is usually make a phone call or send an email. 80% of the time, that's what those two next action steps are. So please identify for your personal goal for 2020, what are the next two things that you need to do this weekend? Let's pull triggers, because guess what? You got a call with your accountability partner next week. That's real. They're like, What do you have to do? What do you need to do? Dave Smith, what do you need to do? Anthony, what do you need to do? Anthony, you've had a little bit more time. What do you need to do? And I'm here to help you, by the way. Like, I'm here to wrestle, fight, ask very, very nicely for your talent, for your innate genius, for your capacity. That's what I'm arguing for here. The fact that you've got a ton of skill. Okay. So, what are the next things that you do? 2 next things. Good breath, by the way.
Well, before you said 2 things, I was going to say systems and processes. That's what I need to do with this.
Perfect. Yes. Tell us more, please. Systems and processes about what? Pick a system. Pick a process.
I need to create training that shows people what and how they can utilize the system and how they can do it in the process of bringing someone new on board and getting them started.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. So you need to study some things, and you need to bring someone on board. You need to make a hire? No, you don't. So what do you need to? What's the thing that you're? What do you need to study? What do you need to start studying now to make that happen?
All of the questions that people have when they start using the system, I want to have all of that documented so I can answer their questions before they need to ask them.
Okay, got it. So let's start with some of the questions instead of all the questions. What are some of the questions that you think that they would ask? You're doing great, by the way.
Right. How they put a custom branding on the back of the car.
Write that down. And get 3 questions written down. Because guess what he's doing now? He's focusing in on that. And it's weird how once we focus on something, he'll be cutting the grass this weekend and he'll get 4 more answers about something. Isn't it weird how that works? And very cool. And by definition, magical. You guys know what the definition of magic is? Verbatim. It's the ability to apparently alter the course of events using supernatural forces. It's not the ability to do it, it's the apparent ability to do it. And when you write things down, and you keep writing things down, and you take some action, and then you take some more action, and you write some more things down, and you take some courses, you read some books, and then you go out to a networking event where you can talk to other people that know more about this stuff than you do currently, and you keep doing that, and you start manifesting these goals, creating these goals, other people will look at you and wonder how you do it. One man's magic is another man's technology. Supernatural is a null word. Robert N. Heinlein. Stranger in a strange land. Technology. Technical knowledge. Technique. This is a technique of you focusing yourself on something. Are the most successful, powerful, fun, influential people you know easily distracted? Anybody? Are the most successful, powerful, fun, influential people that you know focused? When you think of goal setting, think focus. That's all you need to know. Okay? Dave Smith. What's your process? Just some of your process. By God, I need to know everything, all of it right now, immediately. Crap. No, man. Because you're going to get more, you're going to have so much information pulled to you from I don't know where. Over the next week leading up to your call, your date with destiny with your accountability partner, you're going to be shocked with what you get on paper. What do you have now for your process?
Contact manufacturers of vehicles.
Okay, wonderful. Love it. Is it a phone call or an email?
Probably a phone call.
Okay. When will you call them? Date and time. This is fun. And you see what he did? He goes like this. He goes, and he looked up because it's our dreams are up here.
Yes.
Okay, the information is up here, and we have to bring it down into the 3D. And most of the time, like almost always, it starts with writing something down. Okay, and then you got to tell people. Very few people launch a successful anything, keeping it all to themselves in their mind and not telling anyone ever. It's the exact opposite. Okay? What you got?
Today,
Today, say 4 o'clock or today at 4 o'clock? My man. Let's give him a round of applause. That's cool. Time check. What do we got? 156? 11:56? Perfect timing. We're going to do this fast. Okay. I have a goal written to speak in front of 10,000 people. 1,800 is my max so far. What if I wrote down, I think I might like to speak in front of 10,000 people? How do you feel? Forget what would happen. How do you feel when you hear me say that?
You're not committed.
But there's like an inquiry.
It's better than nothing.
And yes.
Okay?
Pick, why am I listening to you?
What would you say if a guy came up and said and asked, I guess I might want to take you out on a date one day, maybe.
Say you can't.
Did you just say you can't afford me?
This is part of the conversation about the words. We're about to get real granular. There's something in the English language that we call soft talk. It's excessive uses of guesses and maybes and thinks and possiblies and probablys and almost likes and perhapses, hopes and tries. Raise your hand if you really dig prolonged bouts of indecision. Nobody ever raises their hand to that. I can't figure out why. And we have language, adjectives to describe our favorite people. Man, that dude's really solid. You ever heard that? You want to meet that guy? You want to meet that woman? Yeah. Man, they're so soft. Anybody? Everybody next to their partner? Let's do this quick. Mr. Muka, will you help me hand these out?
Yes, sir.
This is now, everybody. Actually, Brian, come up on stage so we can demonstrate this. This is the now famous and infamous Procabulary
Did y'all call each other before
soft
y'all got dressed?
talk worksheet. Nope.
They're my single life, we like it sometimes.
And you matched the background too.
Happy days.
Goody goody gumdrops.
Goody gumdrops.
This is a picture moment.
Take a picture someone. Got to turn your phone off. So, I'm A, he's B. We're accountability partners. I'm the A. I'm the one holding the worksheet. This is how this goes. Okay? I'm going to read him a statement. Because most people talk and have no idea what's going on in the other person's mind and their feelings. Because most people just do this when people are talking to them. It's called social niceties. Okay? So I'm going to read 2 sentences. Okay, there's 6 of these on here. I'm going to take some notes. Okay, so I've got a sentence and mental imagery and then feelings. Okay? I guess I could probably make some more progress if I focused a little more. And then I ask him, what kind of mental imagery do you make of me? And he tells me. And I ask him, what kind of feelings do you feel? And he tells me, and I write it down. That's a soft talk statement. And then I make the solid statement. This is going to add nitro fuel for you and your goals, by the way.
And your clients.
And your clients. So, the soft talk statement, I guess I could probably make some more progress if I focused a little more. Solid talk, I would make progress if I focused. And then I write down how he sees me now and how he feels about me now. And I go down both sides. If you're the A, then you do both sides. You're the one you're interviewing this person, so you do both sides of the worksheet. Everybody clear on that? Rad.
One more time. Sorry. You're not clear.
So this is a worksheet. It's on white paper.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. You're gonna interview your partner. You're gonna make some statements and then you're gonna take notes. Okay, you're gonna make a statement. It's almost like I'm blaming them for it. Okay? And then I want to know how he sees me when I say that. okay? And then how he feels about it. And then I make the solid statement. I'm blaming them for it. Because there is a little bit of difference between, it's almost like I'm blaming them, and I'm blaming them. And now I get to take a peek behind the curtain. And I get to ask myself, do I want the people in my personal and professional circles making these kinds of pictures of me and feeling these ways about me? And if I do, keep using the soft talk, people, okay? You're very welcome. Check. Okay.
Before I start off, I would like to say, Mark and I sometimes get introduced as Batman and Robin. I joke because I be like, Mark, who's Batman and who's Robin? And he was like, today you gonna be Batman. I was like, great. As long as I ain't gotta wear the boots and the cape and the spandex outfit, I can do that. Super Dave, I see you, brother. Yes, sir. It's good to be here. I love coming to Virginia Beach. I love the atmosphere that you all provide for us when we come here. And I'm gonna thank you right offhand. Thank you for allowing us to come. I'm super nervous, right? And I was just talking to a friend of mine outside in the parking lot, and I was like, man, I am so nervous. He was like, for real, you do this? I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, I am nervous. Because in the beginning, or in my process, like I knew we was gonna do this weeks ago. I was prepping, and I was preparing, and I was getting ready, and I was hyped, and I was stoked. Then last night, like something just came over me, and it was fear. Right? Like fear had set in, and it had gripped me so hard, and I was like, am I worthy? Will they like me? Am I gonna be good enough? Right? And I was like, man, where's going on? Where's all of this coming from? Right? And I was like, man, fight through it. Fight through it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna do it. Don't let fear control or dictate your outcome of today's reality. Because that's all it want to do. It just want to control me. It just want to set in and dictate how I feel and what I do today. I can't let that happen. I said, I cannot let that happen because that has controlled my life for so long. I lived in fear and I didn't even know it. I thought I was like a leader. I thought I was this guy that portrayed to be something that he really wasn't. I was just a scared little kid for a long time. And I'm gonna give y'all just a brief history of my life. I'm born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. I come from a single parent. My mother, she was very loving and caring. Right? She provided the best that she could for me. I grew up in a big, wonderful house, you know, with a lot of love, me and my brother. I never knew what it was like to come home and not have food in the house or no lights, electricity. I never knew no water. I never knew any of that, right? My mother provided very well for me and my brother. And I do know, as life went on and high school came, right, my friends changed in high school. My thought process changed in high school. And it was the end of the school year, and it was one summer. And school was done after this for me because I already knew I wasn't going to college. Right? That had already set in for me. And I knew that I didn't like to do hard work. Right? Don't mean that I'm not a hard worker. I just don't like to do hard work. Right? I knew that a long time ago. And so I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to get some money? How am I going to take care of myself? So came up with this great idea. I was going to sell drugs. I was going to sell drugs. At about 40 years old, I was going to retire, and I was going to have this island, and I was going to have these females on this island that didn't speak no English, right, and wore very little clothes, and then we was going to be drinking out of some type of, I don't know what kind of, we're going to have umbrellas in our drinks, and it's going to be seed and weed and whatever else English or what non-English going to be going on out there, right? But that never happened. That never happened. What ended up happening was I ended up getting addicted to drugs. I ended up going to prison. I ended up getting shot 4 times in my chest and left in the street to die like a dog in the street. Right? I ended up going back to prison in this process. And it all started with a thought from 30 years ago when I was in high school. That's when it all started. So I have to now be very careful of how I choose to think. I have to guard my thoughts like they guard prisoners in prison, right? I have to make sure that I do consequential thinking every day. When I do this, how's that going to affect me? When I do this, how would that affect me, right? If I do this, would that affect me having a relationship with my daughter? When I do this, would that affect me how my freedom would be jeopardized? I have to do that, so I have to plan my day out. And I know sometimes that, the day don't go as planned. I know that, because I didn't wake up one morning and decide like, hey, I'm going around the corner and I'm going to get shot 4 times in the chest. Right? I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming. Because if I did, do you think I actually would have fucking went around the corner? Do you think I mean, come on now. I know I wouldn't have, but it happened, right? It happened, and I'm here now. The other day, I did a guest speaking engagement at the University of Richmond, and I went in there for the first time. All these students was there, and it was like they had a great amphitheater. It was like, how do you want to come out? How do you want to present yourself? I was like, man, I don't know, just put me on stage and let me go. It was like, do you want the music? Do you want the smokes and the lights? And I was like, I can get that? I can have it. It was like, sure. I said, all right, this is what I want. I want the disco light bulbs, and I want the smoke coming out, and I want my theme song to play. And they was like, what is your theme song? I said, Eminem. Eminem? I said, yeah, Lose Yourself. That's my song. It's like, okay. So when it came on, say, what? Lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. Never let go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow, because opportunity may come once in a lifetime. And that's how I do every performance. I give 110%. I don't care if I'm getting paid for it. I don't care if I'm not getting paid for it. I don't care if it's in a detention center, a high school, a church, University of Richmond, Virginia Beach, because I never know who's out there. I never know who's listening. I never know who's watching. I never know whose life that I might even be saving, right? So I'm always giving 110%. So when I come out there and the Eminem playing, and I come out there and I'm dripping, looking like I got confidence, right? Looking like I'm a rock star, right? In the inside, nobody knows that I'm petrified. They don't know it, they don't see it. I am scared shitless. But they don't see it. Because I block that out. That noise that's in my head that I tell you about, that keep telling me that I can't do it, I won't do it, I won't accomplish, they won't love me. I block it out. And I go out there and I give 110%. And if they love me, like me, or hate me, it don't even bother me. Because I've done the best. And I've brought the best that I could bring and do. And that's all that's required of me. I'm responsible for the effort. My effort, not my outcome, right? The outcome is going to be whatever it's going to be. As long as I put forth the best effort that I have, most of the time, they come out bigger and better than what I even planned, what I even prepared. See, Mark is the reason why I got this hoodie made. Right? When he said I was like the Michael Jordan without a basketball, I was like, I gotta get this sweatshirt. I gotta get the Michael Jordan symbol with my name on it. Yeah, I need to feel this. I need to tell myself every day, you're the Michael Jordan without the basketball. Because I've told myself so much negativity for so many years that it became my truth. And it became my reality. One time, when I was locked up again, and I was in Kentucky this time, and I was sitting in this holding cell, and I was like, how in the hell do I keep getting myself in this situation? I know better. Right? What am I retarded? Am I stupid? Like, I know not to do certain things, and I continue to do them, looking for different results. And they say that's insanity. Right? They say that's the definition for insanity. So am I insane? Right? So I can remember it was a book on the side of the bed. And I just opened it up and started reading. I didn't have nowhere to go nohow, you know. So I started reading, and it was a part in this book where they was talking about Martin Luther King and his wife, how they was just sitting down and just having a discussion. It won't no great I have a dream speeches or anything like that. It was just him and his wife having a discussion. And she asked him, say, why do we as people find ourselves back in situations that we said that we wasn't going to get back in? Right? She asked him that. And he said to her, he said, it is because of the reoccurrence of dumbass thoughts and stupid ass ideas. Right? He said, and it's not that they're dumbass thoughts and stupid ideas because everybody has those. It's the reoccurrence of these dumbass thoughts and stupid ass ideas. He said because once these dumbass thoughts and stupid ass ideas start to reoccur, we take these dumbass thoughts and stupid ass ideas to be our truth. And once we take these dumbass thoughts and stupid ass ideas as our truth, they return into dumbass thoughts and stupid ass actions. Their actions. Right? And then we sit and wonder how we get back in this same position. And I was sitting around, I was like, damn, I've been thinking dumb and stupid for a long time. Because I'm back in the same position time and time and time again. So what I had to start to do, I had to retrain how I thought. I had to retrain how I think. So when I finally went and got situated, I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to start doing some discipline work. Right? Because when I'm locked up, I do great discipline. Right? Whatever they say do, I do. But when I get home, I lose my mind. Right? And so what I started doing, when they say get up at 6 o'clock, I was up at 5:30. Right? I started I like practically non-existent with the TV room. Right? I ain't give a damn about Marl Purge. I ain't care who the baby daddy was. Right? I ain't care who was stripping on Jerry Springer anymore. Right? I ain't care nothing about who had the biggest butt on Basketball Wives. I care nothing about any of that anymore. Right? I had to reprogram how I thought. Because for a long time, I did like large numbers of years in prison. And that's what I did. Right? That's where we met up at, in the TV room, and we watched dumb ass shit like that. Right? And it gave us stupid ideas. Right? I did that, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm tired, man. I don't want to come back. You know, I don't want to die in this prison. Because every night, those were my I had two major prayers. God, don't let me die in this prison. And please, when I come home, let me have a relationship with my daughter and my grandkids. Right? Those are my two major prayers. Right? Because I didn't want to die in prison. Right? And then when I left prison, my daughter, she was a little girl. When I came home, she was a grown woman with kids of her own. And that hurt me so bad because I wasn't there to watch my grandkids be born. Right? And I can remember my daughter, she told me, because I was gone for a while and nobody knew where I was at. I was out of the state. I went from state to state to state to state. They moved me all around. And when I finally got in touch with my daughter, she said, Dad, because she was a father's girl, right? She was a daddy's baby, right? And she said, Dad, she said, it hurt me so bad when you left. She said, because I didn't know where you was at. She said, I didn't know if you didn't love me anymore. I didn't know if you was dead somewhere and nobody knew who you were. Right? She said, I didn't know what was going on. I was a kid. And that hurt me so bad because I had loved this girl so much. Right? And the bond that we had, I shattered it. I did that by the choices that I made. Right? So I had to come back home and I had to get her to believe in me again. And it won't easy. It won't easy. But I knew it was a prayer that I had prayed that I need to get back in my child's life and her children's life. Right? So whatever it took, I was going to do it. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of discipline. Right? It took, for me to, I would say, have to sit down and be real honest with myself. Like, not blaming no excuses on nobody for snitching on me, sending me to prison, right? Not blaming no excuses on the judge just being racist and giving me all that time, right? I did this. Right? I did this between me and her. Right? So, it took some work. I'm telling you, that girl's, woo! But she's my child, right? So, I wanted this relationship so bad that I did the work. I put the work in. And I can remember I was sitting at the pool the other day. Me and my grandkids, we sitting at the pool. And they playing in the pool. They love to come over Papa house now, right? They love it. Right? And my grandson said, Papa, it was Father's Day. He said, Papa, are you having a good Father's Day? I said, the best ever. Because when he asked me that, that's when I realized that prayers do come true. We just have to put the work in. Because I prayed for days like that. I prayed to have my grandkids and my daughter trusting me again with my grandkids in my life. And I saw the prayer coming to fruition. I just had to put in the work. Right? Because like, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not like religious. We're not going to debate over that. Right? You're free to choose and believe however it is that you do. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to argue. Right? God is God. Right? So, like I was saying, I was like, man, God don't just hand out prayer. Because everybody might, God, if you give me this, I do this. If everybody have it, then will nobody believe. Right? So, the ones that put in the work are the ones get the fruit from the prayer. Right? Because you got to put in the work. Prayers ain't for fun. Everybody pray. But prayers don't get answered for punks. The punks just want to lay down and expect something to come out the sky. Like me. I used to look for something outside of me to save me from me. Right? And I had to save me from my damn self. How I thought. How I used to think. Like my truths were a lie for a long time until I started doing my own investigations and my own homework. I had to go in deep on some things. And some things that I hold the true values to, come to find out, they really didn't even, it was a lot. It was a lot. So, the ego will have you sick and suffering for a long time. Now, I was supposed to come up here and talk about addiction, right? Because I am addicted. I'm addicted to heroin. I'm addicted to marijuana. I'm addicted to alcohol. I have very addictive behaviors to a lot of things, right? Not in the last 3 years. Not in the last 3 years have I picked up any type of foreign chemical in my body, right? Because I put the work in. I also know what it's like. I never forget. I always keep my worst horror stories ahead of me. Like, not the good times that I shared, like when I was getting high and when we was doing this and we was partying and we had a great time. No, I never keep those ahead. I remember them, right? But what I keep ahead of me is those horrible nights, right? Those depression nights, those suicidal nights, those being in jail nights, those being alone nights, those being shot in the street 4 times in the chest. Praying, God, please don't let me die like a dog in the street. Please don't do this. And I can remember, how much time I got? I can remember when I was in the hospital and I used to pray every night, God, please don't let me die. Please don't let me die. Then it went from God, please help me get out this. Because they told me when I first got in the hospital and I was paralyzed from the chest down that I would be in the hospital bed for the rest of my life. That I would be bedridden for the rest of my life. That I would have to live in somebody's nursing home for the rest of my life. Somebody would have to bathe me, wipe me, feed me, clothe me for the rest of my life. And I was 20-some years old then. I was still a child, right? And that hurt me so bad. For 2 years, all I had was to be in this bed and look up at this television, all that stayed on 24/7 of the things that I would never be able to do again in life. I had to watch that every day, and it killed me inside. It killed me to know that I would never be able to get back in society and have a life, because I believed what the doctors was telling me when they said this. Because they professionals, right? I trusted them. I believed in them. But they ain't God. They not God. They go as far as they are to go with their limitations, right? And then God steps in and me and him do the other work. Because I still had to do the work too, right? So once I stopped believing in what they said, and I started putting in the work in for myself, I started to get results. It was hard. It was painful. But things started to come into fruition. Like I started getting up on the bed on my own. I started getting in the wheelchair. I started going to physical therapy. I started doing my push-ups and my pull-ups and my sit-ups. And it seemed like every month, things was getting better. And then after like 2 years, I wake up and I have an erection.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I'm 20-something years old. I don't know anything about emotional and spiritual. I'm physical. I'm still a kid. I'm still growing in life, right? I'm like, dang. Okay. I said, God, thank you. Thank you. But I got it from here. I got it from here, God. And I left the hospital. Y'all didn't understand what I said. That might got past some of y'all. I said, thank you, but I got it from here. I took back control. Right? Every day I was praying for God. Help! Right? But then once I received the help, I did this. Right? I put God on the back burner and I went out the door. Went out there. I went back into the same environment. I went back with the same people. and I got the same results. And then here I am back in another hole to say like, how did I get here? How did I get here? My mind. I eliminated a force that was greater than me. I put myself as that force. I'm like, damn, something is really wrong. I have to change everything about myself. And I was okay with that. Every day wasn't like the best of days. Some days I was real low. Some days I was high. Right? And I can remember just the other day, I was sitting at home, and I told you I'm addicted personality, right? My addiction there has become tennis shoes.
Yes!
Yes, sir. Like, I have enough sneakers, literally, right, that I can, for 2 months, wear a different pair of sneakers every day. And the thing about, it's crazy to me, is my sneakers never hit the ground. So they never get messed up, right? and it, like, I was talking to a friend, and I said, let's go to the movies. I was like, all right. She's like, all right, come on, you got your money? I was like, no, you gonna pay for it? I said, I ain't got no money right now. She's like, what? Come go with me. We go into my room, open the closet door, and I got boxes of boxes of boxes of boxes of sneakers everywhere. She said, your priorities messed up. How can you sit down and order $100, $200 sneakers like every month? I only been home for 3 years, right? And I got 60 pair of sneakers already, right? Over, right? We order all these sneakers, right? You don't even have money to get you no cigarettes. You don't even have money to go to the movies. You need to rethink some things. I was like, how to become addicted to sneakers? Damn! I'm like, man, I am so fucked up. But I had to be honest with myself. Like, you don't need no more sneakers. So stay off the internet, right? Stay off of Facebook. Every time an ad come up, go right on past it, swipe right on past. See, because I get caught up in there, and I'm like, let me see what they got. I'm just going to look. And next thing, I'm pulling out the card. All right. So I had to give her my card. You hold it. Because I need some discipline right now. I need some guidance. I need some help. And it's the same thing, like with addiction to any other thing. And see, she had to show me this. Because for me, frosted emotional appeal never sufficed me. Why don't you can't just do this? Why don't you just say no? Which was the dumbest thing ever. Please, lady, please. That don't work for me. I need a stiff dose of reality, right? Because even though addiction is a feeling disease, I ain't into saving feelings. I'm into saving lives today. Right? Because we have become a sensitive ass society. Right? Everybody don't hurt his feelings. Right? No, don't do that. That'll hurt. Yeah, that might keep his ass sick. Right? We're touching feeling people today. And it keeps people sick. Secrets keep people sick. You might not be addicted to drugs or alcohol or whatever, but if you have a member of your family that's addicted, secrets keep you sick. Because we become that, we think that society, or we know that society castrates or put an X or hex on a person with addiction. So we try to hide it from our friends, right? From our family, from our neighbors. We don't want them to know. Right? So if your husband or if your wife is addicted to pain pills, alcohol, whatever the case may be, I don't want nobody to know. Because it might make them look weak. Right? Might make them think that they got a moral deficiency or some shit. Right? So what we do is we allow them to keep doing what they doing. Right? But then I have to be the mother and the father to these kids. Right? She here physically, but spiritually and emotionally, she's a wreck. Right? But I don't want y'all to know it because it's embarrassing to me. Right? It's embarrassing for you to know that we are actually fucking human. Crazy shit ever. Right? Everybody has some type of disability. Everybody. It don't have to be physical. It can be mental. It can be spiritual. But we try to hide this. Right? We are human. We human. People ask me sometimes, man, how you get in the chair? I say, fucking karma. What do you mean, karma? Shit I did just came back around on me. It just came back on, it was my time. I'm human, shit happens. Right? Karma is real. I'm gonna end with that because I don't want to take up too much time. You know, I hope you all got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank y'all for inviting me.
Love you, Karen.